Let's get right into it. Number 5. Your brain eats itself while you sleep. This sounds like the opening line of a horror movie, but it is literally what happens every single night while you are unconscious and completely defenseless. During sleep, your brain activates a cleaning system called the glymphatic system, which flushes out toxic waste proteins that build up throughout the day. One of those waste products is beta amyloid, the same protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. So your brain is essentially a kitchen that generates dangerous garbage all day long, and sleep is the only garbage truck that shows up to collect it. Miss the truck enough times and the trash starts piling up permanently. What scientists politely avoid saying out loud is that every time you brag about running on 4 hours of sleep, you are essentially letting your brain marinate in its own toxic byproducts. Your hustle culture lifestyle is not a flex. It is a slow, well-documented path toward neurological decay. Sleep deprivation does not make you a warrior. It makes you someone whose brain is quietly drowning in its own mess while you tweet about productivity. Number 4. You are temporarily paralyzed every night. Here is something nobody really sits with long enough to feel uncomfortable about. Every night during REM sleep, your brain sends a signal down your spinal cord that chemically paralyzes your entire body. The official explanation is that this prevents you from physically acting out your dreams, which sounds reasonable until you remember that your brain decided the best solution to that problem was to just completely disable your body, like flipping a circuit breaker. The disturbing part is not just that it happens, it is that sometimes it does not fully stop when you wake up. That is called sleep paralysis, and it is your body forgetting to turn the lights back on while your brain is already awake and screaming. You are conscious, you cannot move, and your panicking brain often generates hallucinations of dark figures standing in the corner of the room. Scientists call this a benign neurological hiccup. People who have experienced it call it the single most terrifying moment of their lives. Both are technically correct. Number 3. Sleep makes you forget on purpose. You probably think sleep is all about storing memories, locking in what you learned, filing everything neatly into long-term storage, like a very responsible filing cabinet. And yes, some of that happens, but the part nobody leads with is that sleep also deliberately erases a significant portion of what you experienced that day. This is called synaptic homeostasis, and the theory behind it is that your brain prunes and weakens certain neural connections while you sleep to prevent itself from becoming overloaded. In plain English, your brain decides what gets to stay and quietly deletes the rest without asking you. That embarrassing thing you said at lunch that haunted you all day, gone by morning, unless it was emotionally charged enough to get flagged for storage. The really unsettling implication here is that you are not a continuous experience of consciousness. You are a highlight reel that gets re-edited every single night by an algorithm you have absolutely no control over. Your sense of a coherent, remembered self is partly just whatever your sleeping brain decided was worth keeping. Number 2. Dreams are your brain stress testing reality. Most people treat dreams like weird movies their unconscious mind produces for entertainment, which is a comforting interpretation and also almost entirely wrong. The neuroscience increasingly points to something far stranger. Dreams, particularly during REM sleep, appear to function as a kind of threat simulation system, a rehearsal space where your brain runs disaster scenarios to prepare you emotionally for things that have not happened yet. You dream about being chased because your brain is essentially doing fire drills. You dream about failing exams decades after graduation because your nervous system is stress testing your fear response like a mechanic revving an engine to find the weak spots. The deeply unsettling version of this is that your brain is, on some level, always preparing for catastrophe. Even when your waking life is perfectly fine, you are not dreaming of falling because something is wrong. You are dreaming of falling because your brain refuses to believe everything is okay and has decided to spend the night running worst-case scenarios just in case. Basically, your sleeping brain is a doomsday prepper with unlimited budget and zero chill. Number 1. You might not actually be as asleep when you think you are. This is the one that will genuinely make you question things. Scientists studying sleep stages have discovered something called local sleep, which is the phenomenon where certain regions of your brain can be fully asleep while other regions remain awake. This means sleep is not a binary on-off switch. It is more of a scattered, unreliable dimmer system where different parts of your brain check out at different times with no coordinated plan whatsoever. The implication here is enormous. When you feel like you barely slept, you might have been more asleep than you realized, with only the regions responsible for self-monitoring staying active enough to register the experience of wakefulness. And on the flip side, when you feel like you slept beautifully, certain parts of your brain may have been running quiet background processes all night while you felt completely unconscious. The version of sleep you experience and the version actually happening in your neurons are two entirely different stories happening simultaneously, and they do not always agree. Your perception of your own rest is, to a measurable degree, unreliable. You are not even a trustworthy witness to your own unconsciousness, which is genuinely one of the most disorienting things a sentence has ever had to carry. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.